Welcome back, viewers, from the previous session, which we dealt with printing, and now we are on another topic we call painting. Now, the question is, what is painting? Now, painting is the art of applying colors onto a surface, as simple as that. So, when you're applying a color onto a surface, you are what? Painting. As simple as that. Then the next question says, identify and explain the methods of painting. So, we have painting methods and we have painting techniques. Please, they are different things altogether. Method is very broad. Those are the various ways by which we can achieve painting. Then, when we talk of techniques, you are dealing with the tricks that we can use to achieve the method. So the methods are always very broad. Now we have one painting method we call ala primer, or what we call direct printing. So direct painting. So direct painting is also called ala primer, and is a method of applying wet paint onto a previously wet painted surface. So we normally call it wet on wet painting method. So you have applied a wet paint onto a surface, and you are now applying another wet paint onto the previously wet paint, or wet painted surface. That is what you call wet on wet painting method. Then we have indirect painting. It's a method of building up layers of paints, starting with an underpainting. So we have underpainting. So indirect painting is, we can call it underpainting. Then we have glazing, a method of applying a thin transparent layer of paint over a dried layer of paint. So when during glazing, the paint that you are applying should be transparent to reveal the paint that you have applied underneath, right? That is glazing. Then you have impressionism, a method of painting by creating brush strokes, lights, and movement on the surface. That is impressionism. Then you have grisaille, a method of making underpainting in one color, or what you call monochrome, to create color value. That is grisaille. Then you have outdoor painting, or n plein air painting, a method of painting to capture natural lights and environment. Then we also have what we call mixed media painting method, a method of combining paints with other materials stuck onto a surface. That is mixed media painting method. Then we come to the next question. Which says identify and explain the techniques of painting. We have dry brushing, a method of dragging a dry brush with minimal paint over a surface. That is what we call dry brushing, one of the painting technique. Then we have another technique we call impasto. It's a method of applying color thickly onto a surface. That is impasto. Then we have wash. Wash is a technique of adding enough water to a color to apply over a fairly large surface. That is the wash. Then we have scambling, a light broken layer of opaque paint that is dragged over a dry layer of paint. So when you have a light, broken layer of opaque paint that you drag or apply over a dry layer of paint, you are doing what you call scambling in painting. Yeah, we come to sgravito. Sgravito is the method of scratching through a wet paint to reveal the layer of paint underneath. So let's assume you have applied paint onto a surface, let's say thickly. Then you use a tool to scratch designs on the wet paint to reveal the a paint underneath. You understand? Maybe first of all, you have applied paint over a surface, and then um, or maybe the surface is already colored. Then you apply another paint onto the surface, and then while the paint is in the wet state, you scratch designs through to reveal the initial paint underneath. That is the color of the medium. That is what we call scravito. Then we have blending. A smooth blending is a smooth transition between two or more colors meeting at a point. So when you have two, let's say you are painting a sunset, you applied yellow and maybe orange, and you want the yellow and the orange where they are meeting. You don't want to create a sharp line. You have to do what you call blending by putting the dipping the brush into uh, a soluble solution. Let's say water. If water, the paint that you're applying is a water-based paint, then you use it to apply over the two layers so that the two colors will blend with each other. That is what we call blending. Then you have what you call spattering. Spattering in painting is where you flick a brush filled with paint to create dynamic and abstract effects. That is what you call splattering. Then you have what you call stippling, or the art of creating using paints or colors to create series of dots on the surface. So that is what these are the painting techniques we have available. We have stippling, we have splattering, we have blending, we have sgraffito, we have scambling, we have wash, we have impasto, we have dry brushing. Please, there's another method, another technique that I forgot to add up, which we call sfumato. That is where you are using gray color to achieve a smoky or an evening scene effect. Normally, when you are using tone of colors to paint, that means that the colors should have color gray in them. You know, we have tinting where you are applying white to a color or tinted color. Let's say a pink. Pink is a tinted color because pink is a mixture of white and red. That is tinting. Then you have shaded colors. For shaded colors, those are colors that have color black in them. Then you have what you call tones. In color tones, when you add gray, that is a mixture of black and white, you get a gray, or what you call and whenever you are mixing gray with any other color, you are doing what you call toning. So whenever you want to paint an evening scene, or the brighter part of an evening scene, you use color gray, so tone colors. You mix the colors with gray to paint the brighter part of an evening scene, and then you use the black to paint the shaded part or the darker part. So that at the end of the day, you create an evening scene. So that is what sfumato is all about. Painting, using gray to create, so you using tones of colors to create a smoky effect or achieve an evening scene. That is what sfumato is all about. These are the painting techniques that we have available. So at this juncture, I would like to draw the curtains down, and the next topic that we will deal with is but sorry, before I end, I must also say that we also have what you call chrome. Chrome is dealing with colors. Then we have, if you are painting a scene using only one color, we are doing monochrome painting. And if you are applying, you are painting using two different colors, you are doing we call it dichrome painting. Then any painting that is done with three colors is called trichrome. Then you have polychrome, where you use many colors. Poly means many, tri means three, di means two, and then mono means one. So these are some of the questions that may appear in your or objectives for that matter. So take note of that. Thank you very much for listening, and we meet in the next session to talk about drawing, because drawing is in fact in your syllables they dealt with drawing aspect more than the painting aspect. So that's why I have to end this lesson so that we can have much time to deal with drawing. Thank you very much for listening. I'd like to draw the curtains down at this juncture.